Hey everybody, it's Sean Price with the Price and Price Group, and the numbers are in. We've got the February 26 numbers, so we can compare them to the February 25 numbers to see how the market is moving and what the trend is. Let's dive into it. Okay, so we're going to dive into the month-over-month stats from 2025 versus 2024, so we can compare and see, is the market moving in a growing, an increasing transaction, a seller's market, or are we seeing tendencies where we may start seeing prices start come down? What are we going to see? Well, let's go ahead and just dive into it. All right, so the number of new listings was actually down 13.4% compared to the February of 2025. So we had 958 listings in February 2026, and we had 1106 in February 2025. What's important about that is if you go over here and you look at the number of sales, you'll see that the number of sales were up 4.4%. So the amount of inventory was down, but the number of sales were up, which means there was more demand than there was supply in this given month. So that tends to be more towards a market where prices are again starting to trend up, and we're starting to see a stronger demand versus supply ratio. Days on market, 28 days for February of 2026 versus 24 days February 2025. So properties have been sitting on the market a little bit longer this past season, but you can see that we're starting to catch up. We're starting to get closer. So we'll see what happens in March. Months of inventory is staying exactly the same. This is our absorption rate, and the absorption rate means that if no more properties came on the market and we continue to sell properties at the same speed that we've been selling them in the last month, then how long would it take for all of the inventory to be eaten up? And that number is 3 months. A normal market is considered to be around 5 to 6 months. A buyer's market is anything above 6 months. A seller's market is anything below that 5-month mark. So we are in a seller's market. We have been consistently, but it feels like we're getting back into a stronger seller's market at this point. And then finally, what is the median sales price? What did that sales price do? Interestingly enough, it actually went down a little bit. Ignore this January 2025. I forgot to change that. It's supposed to be February 2025. But sales price went down 1.4% from 742.5 in February of 2025 to 732.5 in February 2026. Now, I've gone over this multiple times, like what the median sales price means. This does not mean that your values are going down. This does not mean that home property values are dropping. It does not tell us anything about the value of an individual property. What this tells us is that of the sampling in February of 2026, the number that fell right smack dab in the middle was 732,500, which is down from the number that fell right smack dab in the middle in February of 2025. So properties themselves, you have to look at it individually. And I say this both when the price goes up or the price goes down. This is just a good way of us tracking to see what the trend is, but don't take 1 month in and of itself and use it as a comparable number. Let's just keep an eye on this. Let's see what happens. But we do know that the market itself is picking up in activity, and we're starting to see a lot of competition entering the market again. So we'll stay on top of this and see what happens in March. Okay, if you guys have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to us. And if not, then we will see you on next month's monthly market report. And just remember that right now it is March 6th as I'm shooting this video, and the market's going crazy and we're seeing multiple offers. So it is chaotic out there. Make sure you're watching the weekly snapshot so that you know how to make real-time decisions that will work for you so that you can navigate this market successfully, either as a buyer or a seller. All right, have a great day out there, or a great week or a great month, and we'll see you next time.